We all know the world of Hollywood is full of secrets. From NDAs, secret relationships, fake relationships, fabricated PR moves, and even secret islands. But one of the absolute worst kept secrets is yachting. A term that at one hand might sound luxurious, but beneath the surface, it reveals a network of exploitation, power, control, and an operation that has been running for decades. This is not just about models and influencers being flown out. This is about women, many of them being young, ambitious, and hopeful, being pulled into a system that profits from their silence and trauma. Welcome to another episode of the Horrors of Hollywood. This time, we're discussing yachting. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Toni Bryanne, and as you guys heard already, we will be discussing yachting in today's video. But y'all know before we get into any video, I like to bless and put some positivity on videos, okay? Because we can't always be negative when we're talking about things. So let's first start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I am full of hope, and I won't let anyone take that away from me." Today's verse of the day is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29, and it reads, "He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak." As you guys know, the Toni Bryanne TV show is officially a podcast, so you no longer have to just watch me, you guys can also listen to me. I'm available on all audio streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Audible. So if you guys want to listen to me on the way to work, while you're cleaning, while you're working, all my social media platforms will be linked here. I am Toni Bryanne TV across basically all my platforms. So follow my accounts on Instagram, Toni Talks TV and Toni Bryanne TV. Follow me on TikTok. I am TBTV Clips on TikTok, along with Toni Bryanne TV on TikTok and the Decision Podcast on TikTok. And all of my social media platforms will be listed down below. Remember, we are on the road to 300,000 subscribers, and once we hit 295K, there will be a massive giveaway that you guys will not want to miss out on. So please be sure to tell your mamas, your aunties, your daddies, your uncles to subscribe to Toni Bryanne TV, okay? And of course, please be sure to check out my podcast, The Decision Podcast. It's all about how one choice can impact your entire life. And if you want to be a guest on The Decision Podcast, the form will be linked down below as well. The Decision Podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. And yeah, that is all the housekeeping for now. So let's get straight into today's video.
Taking you in this moment.
So what really is yachting? Well, yachting is code for elite level sex work or escorting, and it is especially common among models, influencers, and actresses. Think of your fave influencer who's always traveling, rocking designer bags, living in high-rise apartments, always doing unboxing hauls, but you never see them with any sponsorship deals on their page, and they never mention anything about a job. And then you have the ladies that barely post on Instagram but are living a very luxurious lifestyle, and you're just like, where the heck are you getting all of this money from? Well, 9 out of 10 times it's because they are high-level escorts with a lot of money being made by yachting. So I gave you guys a brief definition of what yachting is, but in more depth, yachting is most commonly used to describe the practice of being paid to spend time and be pictured with wealthy clients, often aboard mega yachts. Now, these aren't just your typical yachts. Y'all think of yachts like, okay, really big boat, but no, these mega yachts are literally mansions on water. They feature amenities like swimming pools, gyms, helicopter pads, spas, movie theaters, and large bedrooms, including a multiple of other things depending on the size of the mega yacht. And they'll have a full service crew, including a captain, chefs, cleaning people. It's basically a cruise but owned by typically one man. And typically these men are billionaires who have cravings for young women. Well, not just young women, young beautiful women. And these young women sometimes gleefully or unknowingly or knowingly hop on these yachts with these men. And it is considered a popular formula for the it girls that we see on social media and rising stars that we see on red carpets to raise their profile. But it has a very murky underbelly of sexual exploitation, coercion, and trafficking. Aspiring actors and models, and even women who are already somewhat established in the industry, often enter into yachting with the intention of raising their profiles. They're told it's an opportunity to network, make connections, and gain social access to elite circles. And at first glance, it looks like a dream. You get to take exotic trips, you're on these mansions on the water, you get designer clothes, beautiful yachts, and high-value men. But trust and believe, that luxury comes at a cost. As former yacht girls have explained, typically anonymously, many women are recruited by friends, co-stars, or even other yacht girls who pitch it as a modeling or acting opportunity. But once these girls arrive on that yacht, the reality becomes much darker. What starts off looking like a paid party gig, just being flown out, sipping champagne, looking good, and taking pictures with some of the most elite, it can very quickly blur into something else, and it does. These girls are paid to attend events, they're invited on trips, promised exposure, and while some go willingly, believing they're there for legitimate work, they quickly realize they're expected to perform acts that they may have not been made aware of beforehand. And unfortunately, once you get on that boat, your power is gone. That yacht owner controls your surroundings, your flight, your access, and your exit. And as we stated in my video on the horror of cruises, once you get into water, the line gets very blurred on what is and is not a law. And not only that, you're among some of the people that make the rules as they go, because we all know money is power, and if you have enough money, you get away with anything.
You guys, how cool are these glasses? All you have to do is snap these on, and you have a completely different look every single time. This is my second pair of eyewear, and I swear I get more and more obsessed every single time. If I want to go for pink, I go for pink. If I want to go for burgundy, I just go for burgundy. And of course, the glasses come just like this, and these are just as cute as well. I literally ordered everything in minutes. All I did was pick my base frame, browsed a bunch of top frames and picked my favorite ones, and I even added in my prescription lenses. It was so easy and quick. What I absolutely love most about my pair eyewear is that it fits into my everyday lifestyle. Whether I'm working, filming, or going out, I can switch my frames to match my mood every single time. And they're way more affordable than traditional eyewear. On top of the top frames that I just showed you guys, I even got sun tops. Yes, these are legitimately sunglasses. So I can just put these on while I'm driving, and the sun's not bothering my eyes anymore. It's sunglasses and regular glasses all in one, just by one snap. Another thing I love is every purchase helps provide glasses to a child in need through their A Pair for a Pair program. So you're not just buying cute frames, you're actually helping others. So go ahead and check out Pair for yourself. The link will be in the description box, and you will get 15% off your first purchase. I know you guys will absolutely love your glasses, and thank you so much Pair Eyewear for sponsoring this segment of today's video.
So now let's go into the pipeline from IG baddie to yacht girl. How exactly do these IG baddies get into this industry, whether knowingly or unknowingly? So it doesn't just start on a yacht. No, you're not just walking around and some random man says, hey, hop on my boat. Y'all, if you're from Miami or you've been to Miami, you're thinking about the little dogs that have their nice boats. Now, boats are a lot of money, but we're talking about the ones that have mega yachts, okay? There is a whole entire thing that happens behind the scenes in order to get certain girls on these boats and for this to be a very private business. So it typically starts with a DM or a club appearance, a photo shoot, or a vague modeling opportunity. You'll have an agent promising exposure, a promoter offering an invite to a private after party. And at first, it feels like a win. You're finally being seen. You think you're a baddie. You're like, oh my God, all these rich people want to be around me. They're inviting me to these private parties on boats. Like, I made it. Or this is just the start. Finally, your beauty, your vibe, your online persona is getting the attention you know that it's so much deserved. In your head, you're like, I've been posting, I've been growing, I've been building this aesthetic that so many people say that they like. And now someone with status or money is finally acknowledging you. But that's the trap, okay? Because for many women, especially those trying to break into modeling, acting, or influencing, this is how the pipeline begins. So let's start with step one. You have a scout. So not all these scouts are working for top brands, okay? It's not a Wilhelmina scout. The scout is typically someone that works in nightlife. And some even work at agencies that blur the lines between talent management and escorting. And for some, well, they're women themselves. Former yacht girls that were recruited and are now recruiting. So you'll get a DM like, you'd be perfect for this event in Monaco, all expenses paid. Or do you want to make a quick $5,000 if you just come to this party with me? Or we're casting for a fashion show in Dubai. Once again, all expenses paid. Or we're looking for pretty girls for a summer trip. It's easy money. And you're probably thinking, I would never accept that invitation. But the woman that may be trying to recruit you is probably someone that's already well known. Like, imagine a girl in your DMs that has 300K followers and she gets lots of likes and she's beautiful. You're probably just thinking she just wants a friend to go on the trip with and she thinks I'm pretty and I'd be great to go on this trip with. Or maybe we're both going to be collaborating where I get some of her followers and she gets some of mine. They frame it as promotional modeling, hostessing, or just looking cute and posting content. And technically that's not a lie, because a lot of y'all fave influencers, all those pictures that they're posting with no sponsorship deals or no ads attached to it, yeah, they're advertising something, all right. It's a theory that a lot of these influencers are basically using Instagram as Backstage. Backstage is a website that people use in order to get auditions, look up casting calls, or get recruited for different gigs. And Instagram is just like that at this point. I always say Instagram's a visual LinkedIn, but that's how they get you. You see a beautiful woman, you see she has it all made for her, and you would never in a million years think that they're selling it or escorting. But that gets into step 2 of the recruiting process, the NDA. Before any real information is given to you, you sign a contract. That contract is an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, which basically is you saying that you are not going to say anything that happens to you or you're going to get fined big money for it, okay? And like I said, these are billionaires on boats, and I promise you probably will not be able to afford the penalty. But they don't say it like that. The girl tells you, oh, it's meant to protect you. It's standard, that it ensures professionalism. But what it really does is that it silences you before you even know what you've signed up for. Because once that NDA is signed, the power dynamic shifts. You're no longer just a girl going on a girl's trip. You're a liability now that they control. A lot of former yacht girls have explained that they were warned not to speak about anything that they saw, even to their friends. Some were told their phones would be monitored, while others said that they were stripped of all of their devices altogether. So once the aspiring IG model signs that NDA, she's now in their world, and you're going to face extreme isolation. So now you're in some of the meccas of yachting, which is Cairns, Mykonos, or Dubai. You're in their world. You don't get to pick your room, you don't choose who you're with, and you're escorted to events expected to look presentable and told to be nice. In some cases, girls are told they can't leave the hotel or yacht without approval, and flights home are in someone else's name. Your meals, transports, and outfits are either coordinated or arranged for you, but it's not luxury, y'all, okay? One ex-escort said in quote, "They make you feel like a princess, but you're in a glass cage," end quote. So yeah, you have all the perks and all the luxury and you're dressed nice and all of these things, but you're not in control, they are. They make you look pretty and give you nice things so that you can be more docile and be more receptive to the things that they tell you to do and how to do. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. That's step 4, the ask. It doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes women will go 3 or 4 events before anything is said, but eventually the ask comes. So it can be either subtle or just blatant and explicit. The subtle version will be like, oh, he really likes you. You should go spend some more time with him. Or he said you're pretty, or you guys will look cute together. And the explicit way would be, if you want to get paid, go to his room. If you want to make some real cash, go do this to him. Do you want to join me and go with him? We'll make triple of what we came here for. These women quickly realize they're not there just to be seen and just to be eye candy. They're there to serve. And if they refuse, they're labeled difficult, dropped, blacklisted, threatened, or even actually these men acting on these threats, which is the story of a few yachters we'll be discussing a little bit later. A former yacht girl told stylists in quote, "You don't know if saying no means you lose the gig, the money, or worse, your safety," end quote.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is now one of the highest indicators of declining mental health. Today, now 61% of the workforce is experiencing higher than normal levels of stress. To battle stress, most of us cannot wave goodbye at work, but we can start with a small focus on wellness. For me, that looks like sitting in the sun, hanging out with my cat Nala, and just going out for a short walk. But I don't forget that therapy is also super helpful when it comes to navigating my work stress. Therapy isn't just for those that have gone through major trauma. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills, setting boundaries, and becoming the best version of yourself. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it actually works. With an App Store rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on out over 1.7 million client reviews. It's convenient too. You can join a session with a therapist just by a click of a button, and you can switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy platform in the world, BetterHelp can connect you with mental health therapists who actually have a wide range of expertise and can help you today. My listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp. Just go to betterhelp.com/Toni Bryanne. That's BetterHelp.com/Toni Bryanne.
Let's get into step 5, the payoff, which is how much money these girls are making that makes them continuously go back, recruit other girls, and basically live a humiliation ritual. So for those who comply and do their job while they're there, the money is very much so real, okay? These girls are making $10,000 to $50,000 a weekend. Some girls only going once or twice a year and making $100K plus. Yes. So they do their $100K, that's their little 9 to 5 in their head, okay? They make that $100K and then they go back to Miami and they're dealing with the rich men there that are paying for their rent, paying all their bills, getting them nice gifts. So it's literally a weekend job of being humiliated and they're good for the rest of the year. And sometimes it's not only money, they're getting luxury gifts, they're getting luxury bags, and they're getting extended invites to come again. But every time you say yes, it gets harder and harder to walk away because now you're known and you now have a target on your back. Once you do that one heinous act, you are just one scandal away from being exposed from your perfect online persona. And even if the women don't care if they get exposed, the money is so long that it will probably entice you to keep doing it. Some women are probably heavily sedated while they're doing these acts, so they don't remember it, and it makes them want to go back more and more because the money is so darn good. And as for the industry, y'all know Hollywood loves girls who don't ask questions and don't speak up for themselves. So when they do as they're told, they get rewarded. Think about some people that got famous literally what seems like overnight. And it's not because like they're uber talented. You're probably like, they're not that talented, or their pictures look like every other girl online. What makes them so special? They don't really have that big of a personality. Well, some of these girls are going on these yachts and they're doing a good job, quote unquote, on these yacht trips. And next thing you know, they have a new team, new designer wardrobe, 5-star vacations, and zero explanation of where all that came from. And like I said, that's because this system rewards silence and obedience. Not talent, not hustle, just straight compliance. So I'm sure you guys want to hear real firsthand accounts of people that have been former yacht girls or people that have worked on these ships where yachting is happening. So many crew members on these yacht boats have shared testimonies of sexual coercion, isolation, and psychological abuse. While the industry tries to cover this up with NDAs, yacht photos, and influencer story posts, people have been talking for years about this, okay? So from former yacht crew members to models to strippers and women on the inside, they have literally risked their livelihoods to speak about the problematic aspect of yachting. In the Facebook group Women for Women Yachting, hundreds of crew members shared stories of rape, harassment, and manipulation. One woman wrote that her job description was quote unquote hostess, but she was told to be quote unquote available to the guest and not to say no. In an article written on Might Delete, a crew member said that they were reprimanded for trying to stop male guests from groping female staff. Another said, in quote, "It's not worth speaking up. The guests will be gone in a day, but you'll be fired by the morning," end quote. And a lot of times on social media when people discuss yachting, they make it out to be a joke. Women are flown to Coachella, Cannes, Monaco, and Dubai thinking that they're there to look pretty, to network, or be seen. But once you're inside, it's clear you're not the guest, you're the product. And the deeper you go, the harder it is to leave, because the moment you say no or speak out or stop playing that role, you're no longer valuable, you're now a liability. Former Victoria's Secret supermodel Emma Ratajkowski, who goes by Emrata, and that's what I'm gonna call her in this video, is one of the few public figures who's spoken out about yachting. In her memoir, My Body, she describes being paid $25,000 to attend the Super Bowl with billionaire Zhao Lo. She said she had no idea why she was there or how long she was expected to stay. She said, in quote, she was on the clock, unsure of when she'd be allowed to leave or who had to approve it. She also described being taken to Coachella with 14 other young models, noting how promoters position positioned them as accessories for men with money and influence. She said this in quote, "Over time, it became harder to hold on to the distinction between me and them, the ones playing the game. Maybe they were just playing it better." End quote. This isn't just a few billionaires inviting pretty girls to party. Yachting is systemic. It's strategic. It's deliberate. The Stylist magazine launched an investigation to go more in depth on yachting, and during their investigation, it was revealed that this world operates through middlemen, promoters, agents, and fixers, many of whom work directly within Hollywood and fashion. One journalist said this in quote, "You'll see a woman on a red carpet and have no idea who she is, but someone wanted her to be seen, and there's a reason for that." End quote. There's a theory that when you see a random person, mainly a random woman on the red carpet, it is a listing. She's there selling herself so that the billionaires are questioning, who's that girl and how do I get to know her even more? I always think about the random people that go to the Met Gala, like you'll see Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, so on and so forth, but then you'll see a stunning, beautiful girl that you've never seen in your life. And yeah, you can be like, okay, that's a model, but I don't know. I feel like if I was a stylist, I would probably want a celebrity in my gown over just some random model, or at least a well-known model I'd have wear it. So it definitely makes people give the side eye. It's a very transactional system. The woman gets the platform. If she's with one of those elite stars like the billionaires and she gets to walk the red carpet with him, he gets credibility, desirability, and she does whatever he tells her to do. It's a win-win situation. So now let's talk about the women allegedly involved that you may very well know. Forums, blind items, and even leaked flight logs have tied names like Naomi Campbell, Lindsay Lohan, Cara Delevingne, Bella Hadid, Irina Shayk, and even Meghan Markle before royalty to yacht cruises. We've constantly seen these women at Cannes appearances, and if y'all did not know, the Cannes Festival is allegedly one of the biggest yachting platforms. So we've seen all of these women at these festivals. We've seen them on elite travel arrangements. Do we know if all of them were involved in sex work? Of course not. But that's the whole point. It's a very thin line between she's networking and she's being used. And it's so blurry that people often ignore it. And we will be going more in depth to a few of the women listed and some others in just a second. But according to former modeling agent Eli Nahas, who was convicted in a 2007 case tied to the Cannes yacht parties, they said this in quote, "You'd definitely recognize more than a few names from Hollywood. They tell themselves what they're doing is just a date, but they know. And they like the money." End quote. And that's what makes yachting so freaking insidious. It's wrapped in visibility and luxury. It's not what you think when you think of prostitution, which is a woman on the corner that hasn't showered in a few days, has no money, is on drugs, is unkempt. No, it looks completely different. But still, at the end of the day, though the women may look different, these women are still often left emotionally shattered, traumatized, and silenced. One line from the Stylist magazine investigation when they discussed yachting was when a woman said in quote, "Every story I've heard about yachting is negative. Every girl has some kind of trauma after." End quote. Because when you think about it, when money controls the setting, the transportation, the NDA, and the outcome, how much of a choice do you really actually have? So we already mentioned a few names of women that have been alleged yachters. I mean, Meghan Markle was literally on a boat with a very wealthy man back in her day. We've seen Bella Hadid on yachts. We've seen Irina Shayk on these yachts. We've seen all of them, okay? But here are some that are constantly seen in blind items, Reddit threads, Dumois submissions, and modeling forums. Now, whether any of these things are true or not, remember y'all, we do not know if these are true. These are all allegations. The volume of rumors definitely reveal a disturbing pattern of who gets elevated and why, and that yachting probably is indeed a reality. So Naomi Campbell has been tied to so many things in terms of smex work and just getting involved in the industry. I mean, she was literally linked to Epstein's flights and tied to the Cannes circuit of yachting. So Naomi Campbell has long been linked to the Cannes yacht scene, and she's also known to have been very close to controversial figures like Jeffrey Epstein and his wife. And we all know what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Naomi has repeatedly denied involvement, but photos and flight logs place her in circles where yachting allegedly thrived. And like I said, her name keeps popping up time and time again. again. So I'm starting to give her the side eye because there has to be some truth to this at this point. But let's also note that Naomi was the it girl at the time. And y'all remember earlier I said the OG yacht girls are now recruiting the new yacht girls, okay? The younger girls. Once you age out of it, now you're gonna be the one recruiting the new girls. And like I said, once again, Naomi was that girl back in the day. So it wouldn't be too far stretched to believe that she is indeed involved in that industry, especially when so many young models aspire to be a Naomi Campbell. But allegedly, okay. Another yachter, which is really shocking, is actually Lindsay Lohan. So articles from the early 2010s mention her being hosted on super yachts by billionaires with vague business reasonings. She also was frequently photographed at Kane's yacht parties aboard luxury vessels tied to Paul Allen, placing her in elite circles often cited in yacht culture rumors. And remember, Lindsay Lohan was going through a very rough time in the late early 2000s. She was in and out of jail, allegedly heavy on drugs, constantly breaking her probation. She just looked very different. And that led her to not getting many acting gigs anymore, okay? Or work. So when you think about that and you consider that, it wouldn't be too shocking if she was indeed involved in yachting in order to make a living. Many Reddit threads have referenced her as a high-end paid escort in the 2010s with alleged yacht gigs in Dubai and Canes. And even today, Miss Lindsay Lohan does indeed live in Dubai. A 2012 Lipstick Alley blind item claimed she had to sell sex due to financial hardship. And another blind item by A Crazy Days and Nights, they suggested that she was among elite paid guests. And as I stated, it could be speculated during all of her legal troubles, she was yachting just to get by. I mean, guys, she literally was a huge Hollywood child star. So a lot of creepy men probably could not wait to get their hands on her. And as much as I know that is absolutely disgusting, it could be indeed a reality as to what she was doing in order to make it by. Another three that are all besties that have been linked to yachting is Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner, and Hailey Bieber. So they are constantly in Canes, Monaco, and Dumois has a field day when it comes to allegations with them yachting. And a lot of blind items have linked them all to these places when yachting is taking place. And these girls aren't on these boats with a rapper or a singer or heck even an actor. These girls are on these boats with elite financiers and old money heirs. So billionaires, people with big money. And a viral Dumois post once claimed they were part of a scouting trip to meet investors during an off-season party in the UAE, which is Dubai. But I want to make it clear, there have been no confirmed reports, but their names constantly do appear in yachting blind items. And when you really think about it, these women very quickly and largely were boosted in the industry. And yes, these are all Nepo babies, okay? And we all know that Nepo babies definitely get a push in anything that they do, but there also are a lot of Nepo babies, okay? However, a lot of those Nepo babies don't become superstars like these ladies have over the years. And a lot of people don't think that they're that talented, or at least they weren't in the beginning. So for them to get such a boost compared to other Nepo babies, it makes people question, how did you get where you got? And what did you do to get to where you're at? Now let's get into Miss Kylie Jenner. And I wanted to give Kylie Jenner her own separate category because I feel as if Kylie was sold from the day she was 15, okay? Whether y'all want to say her mother was selling her, or whether y'all want to say that she was selling herself through her Instagram. But Kylie was grown from the time she was a little kid, okay? And I really, really hope the same thing does not happen to her daughter Stormi, and that her daughter learns to love herself, and Kylie learned through her own trauma that's not the way to go, and that's not the way you should live, and slow down a little bit. But Miss Kylie is constantly having yacht parties in Capri, Dubai, and of course, her infamous 18th birthday yacht celebration. So on Kylie's 18th birthday back in 2015, her boyfriend at the time named Tyga threw her a yacht party, and there were multiple adult men in attendance to this 18-year-old, this child's birthday party, okay? It just seemed odd that so many grown men were there, and why there, and what were they doing there? But that's just one speculation as to what was going on that yacht party. People think it was more than just dancing on a yacht. It was yachting going down on that yacht. And then of course, same as her sister and her friends, Kylie has been spotted over the years on yachts in Capri, the French Riviera, and Dubai with oil heirs and business elites. So she's constantly around very wealthy men, though what they put in the forefront is that she just dates these like has-been rappers. So a lot of people speculate that for her celebrity, she dates these rappers, but for her lifestyle, she's dating or yachting with these billionaires in order to make a pretty penny. And as we look at Kylie Jenner's failed businesses over the years, well, I won't don't say that Kylie Cosmetics was a fail. It just has dwindled a lot in popularity over the recent years. But with her several brands like Kai, and then she has, I think it's called Sprinter, which is her vodka seltzer brand. People believe that is a front to really cover up what is going on behind the scenes in order for her to maintain her mega wealth. Because Miss Kylie Jenner got multiple houses and they're massive and she has lots of cars. And I personally don't believe Kai and Kylie Cosmetics is what's making all this money. The next alleged yachter we're going to be speaking on is Sky Jackson. So if y'all don't know who Sky Jackson is, Sky Jackson was on Disney Channel. She was Zuri in the hit show Jessie. She was like literally everyone's little girl. Like she was like a little cutesy little baby and she looked young for so long. But Sky, as she has gotten older, has gotten herself caught up in a lot of mess. And one of the messes being rumors on TikTok and Lipstick Alley of her allegedly being a yachter. So in these viral TikToks and threads on Lipstick Alley and Reddit, people have alleged that they have both seen her on yachts and they also have seen her included in closed celeb parties.
There have been many blind items alleging that Sky Jackson has been yachting since she was a young teen and that her parents were encouraging this. Here's a new blind item that is allegedly about her, and I do want to make it clear that if this is true, then she is a victim since this began when she was a child, and we should in no way be blaming or shaming her for this. This former Disney actress was already yachting by the time she hit 15. Her family knew that is when she would make the most bucks. Their plan was to save it, but they spent it as fast as it came in. And again, this is allegedly Sky Jackson. And the related headline reads, Sky Jackson reacts to criticism over charging fans to enter a MacBook raffle. I do not need money. Sky Jackson has been facing backlash for promoting a MacBook giveaway on social media over the July 4th weekend. Upon entering the giveaway, fans noticed that the sign-up required a $5 fee. Some people started questioning why it was the case, leading to criticism against her online. The 21-year-old actor responded to the backlash. She defended the giveaway in a TikTok live, specifying it as a raffle. It is not that serious for a damn $5. It's called a raffle. I don't know if you guys have ever been to school before, but I know I've been to school and we used to have raffles all the time, she said. Jackson specified where the extra money left would go towards. The money goes towards the prize, and like I said, if there's anything left over, I'm doing a second giveaway soon, so that's what it's going towards, she added. The actor also said she did not do the giveaway for monetary reasons. I do not need money. Me personally, I do not need money. And I'm not saying this in like a bragging way or anything like that or in a mean way. I'm just letting you guys know I do not personally need money. Like I am very fine in my life, she said.
While there is absolutely no proof that Sky Jackson is a yachter, these are all speculations, okay? The claims sparked discussion about how even child stars are vulnerable to grooming and industry pressure in order to maintain a living, or at least maintain some relevance to some sort. Because I don't want to necessarily be shady, but Sky has not been in a huge film or TV show for years now. Yet she seems to still be very well taken care of. She has, from what it seems, a really nice house. She drives a nice car. She's a single mom that doesn't seem to be in the struggle. And it's like, how are you making this money? You don't really see Sky with major brand deals. She seems to be living a very comfortable life, but without working. And then she has that baby daddy that literally is a hoodlum, okay? And I highly doubt that he's helping her financially. So how exactly is Sky getting these funds? A lot of people are like, I don't know. What is she doing in order to get this money on? So she is just one other high profile celebrity that has been accused of yachting. Then we have Miss Miranda Kerr. And if y'all don't know who Miranda Kerr is, Miranda Kerr was the supermodel back in the day, okay? She is a former Victoria's Secret supermodel, and she has actually been called out for yachting for years. And not only that, she has been rumored on TikTok and gossip forums to be one of the most well-known yacht girls in Hollywood. So Jowlo, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly because I mentioned his name earlier when we were speaking on Miss Naomi Campbell, was it? No, it was when we were speaking on Emirata. So he has ties to Miranda Kerr too. So this Malaysian financier that we're speaking on, Jowlo, who's tied to Miranda Kerr and Emirata, he is at the center of Yacht and Kane's party scandals. And he has allegedly gifted Miranda Kerr over $8 million in jewelry, items which later became the subject of a U.S. Justice Department forfeiture case, which we'll talk about maybe in a separate video. But yeah, there was a whole scandal tied to Mr. Lowe, okay? And through that, Miss Miss Miranda Kerr had to return all the gifts that were given to her to authorities from Lowe. But though she's not explicitly tied to yachting, these gifts and her presence in the same social circuit fueled speculation that she was moving in the same environments where yachting was very popular. And get this, Miss Emrata, the woman we spoke about earlier who said she went on a date with that billionaire unknowingly, well, she alluded to the fact that she was speaking about Miranda Kerr in that same memoir, My Body, where Emrata was recounting her going on a date with that same billionaire. So in the memoir, Emrata recalls several encounters with women she felt were heavily a part of the yacht model world, describing a Victoria's Secret angel with dimples, dashing bottle toasting moments, and a $1.3 million necklace gifted by a billionaire. Now, she doesn't name who that model is exactly, but we all can probably guess who it is because Miss Miranda Kerr is known for her very, very in-depth dimples. And immediately it spread rumors that Miranda Kerr was indeed a yachter and Emrata was the one that called her out. And like I'll say for the billionth time, these are all allegations. We don't know if this is true or not. We don't know if Miss Miranda Kerr actually is a yachter or was a yachter now that she's like in her late 30s, but it could very well be true given the fact that she did get $8 million worth of gifts from Mr. Lowe. So the next and last person we're going to speak on is Nina Dobrev. So if you guys don't know who Nina Dobrev is, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly once again, I think it is Dobrev, but yeah. She was the lead in the series The Vampire Diaries, and Nina is basically known to be the yacht girl. And when I say the yacht girl, I mean the highest paid one and the recruiter, allegedly. One anonymous user saying in quote, "She's kind of a blind item celebrity, very highly paid to spend time with wealthy men on yachts, bringing in more money for any friends she brings along," end quote. So like I said, posts like this suggest she might not only participate, but also recruit others into the yacht world. And to further push the idea that she is a yachter, or at least a recruiter of yachting, allegedly, she has recently been photographed aboard the Ritz-Carlton super yacht called the Luminera alongside Kendall Jenner and billionaire Mark Sheenberg. And if you guys remember earlier, Kendall Jenner has also been speculated to be a yachter, and seeing the two of them, both speculated yachters together, next to a billionaire is definitely going to fuel more speculation. So now let's get into the infamous Dubai porta potty theory or idea that women are going to Dubai and basically being a porta potty. So let's get into what the heck the Dubai porta potty even is. So the term Dubai porta potty has circulated online like an urban legend. People thought it was a joke, a disgusting rumor meant to humiliate women online, but unfortunately it's not just a story. There are real women behind the shock value, and in some cases they're barely surviving this aftermath. So Dubai porta potty refers to disturbing allegations about underground events in Dubai where wealthy individuals allegedly lure women, often influencers and models, and coerce them into performing degrading sexual acts, some of which reportedly involve human waste. These events have garnered attention through viral videos and online discussions highlighting a dark underbelly hidden beneath Dubai's glamorous reputation. Now, it sounds bizarre, maybe even fake, but it's a slang term for one of the internet's most disturbing open secrets, which is the alleged practice of ultra-wealthy men in places like Dubai paying influencers or aspiring models tens of thousands of dollars to degrade them. So these things include everything from being urinated on, defecated on, to performing humiliating acts in exchange for luxury bags, lavish trips, and wire transfers. In a recent podcast clip that went viral, rapper and influencer Jenna Ski shared a story about one of her friends, a former stripper, who was offered $20,000 to $30,000 to go on one of these trips where she'd be making a lot of money. The catch? She was paid to be urinated and defecated on. Take a look at this.
Girl, do you want me to tell you them Dubai stories?
What?
So I had like a stripper friend. She would always go to Dubai. And when she come back I always love her going to Dubai because when she come back from Dubai, she buying me hair. She getting my nails done. We going out to eat. I never knew, girl, they getting pissed on in Dubai, right? So I'm like, I said, let me come to Dubai with you. She was like, I got to be honest with you. She was like, I get on and pissed on for like 20, 30K by different men. And different men do it like at one time.
No.
And then she would say it would be like a row of them, and it would be all of them doing it. It was like she explained it to me, and that's why she would be on private jets.
It's repulsive that she's kind of giggling at the fact that this is what her friend does. I mean, if she likes it, I love it, in reference to her friend. But it's crazy the lengths that these women go in order to make money. It becomes addictive, even if it's humiliating. And while some of these viral videos are unverified, because we'll never know 100% what is true or what is not true on this internet, the pattern is once again disturbingly familiar. You have rich men, typically older, young women that are trying to be influencers, models, actors, actresses, beautiful women, and then you see huge payouts where these girls are getting bags, designer, all of these things in order to maintain their lifestyle. However, these women are offered money for acts that go far beyond what they signed up for. And due to them signing contracts or just being among men of power, these women are told they can't leave or won't be paid unless they comply, and many are ashamed or too afraid to ever speak up. So here are some crazy stories discussing the dangers of sex work overseas, or just the concept of women being escorts in general. So in 2022, an Instagram model named Ellie shared her story after allegedly being flown out to Dubai by a very wealthy client for what she was told would be a luxury party. Instead, she claims when she arrived there, she was drugged, assaulted, and left for dead in the desert. In a post that has since been deleted, Ellie said this in quote, "He said I was boring, that I didn't do what the other girls do, and then he dumped me there, alone, no phone, no water, nothing," end quote. Another woman shared a story that is eerily similar to Ellie's. In March 2025, 20-year-old Ukrainian model Maria Kovalchuk vanished in Dubai. She was later found unconscious with a shattered spine and multiple broken limbs, barely alive. Maria said that she had been lured to a party by wealthy young men who took her passport, mocked her, and hinted at sex. When she resisted, the situation escalated into violence. She claimed she was chased, beaten, and thrown from a ledge. And according to the Sun, Maria was not only beaten, she was also scalped. The group allegedly tore skin from her scalp and then threw her over that ledge near a construction site. She was later found in a hotel bathrobe unconscious by a passing driver with that shattered spine and the multiple broken limbs. She fell into a coma and now uses a wheelchair and crutches to recover. The article also notes that she had no alcohol in her system despite early reports trying to frame her as intoxicated. And while she denied police's involvement, there's still speculation about local authorities' role in covering up what happened, especially after she revealed that the CCTV footage had been erased and that her medical bills were paid off under conditions of silence. So though these stories are incredibly heinous, I want to be clear that these are not just horror stories, okay? They're part of a pattern where women are being recruited, humiliated, exploited, and then discarded. One fellow model even told The Sun that these elite parties often involve rape, beating, and mistreatment, all under the false promise of exposure, money, and fame. And unfortunately, this system makes so much money that I would not be surprised if it goes far beyond just a bunch of billionaires. How Maria's medical bills were paid off and then the CCTV footage just disappeared, it does make you want to give the side eye to who exactly is involved and what exactly is being hidden. These so-called parties often involve rich men committing depraved acts on women who have little to no power. I mean, the term porta potty itself comes from allegations that women are literally treated as human toilets, which is a horrific example of the abuse hidden under luxury's veil. Even when victims like Maria survive, justice is rare, the CCTV footage is wiped, authorities are silent, and victims are often blamed, paid off, or threatened to stay silent. So whether or not every porta potty rumor is true or not, the pattern isn't fictional. It's the same thing: women being promised luxury, flown out for vague modeling or influencer gigs, being told that they were invited to a party, then pressured or coerced into degrading acts. Some are offered $10,000 to $50,000 or even more. Others are threatened, filmed, or blackmailed. And when they try to speak up, they're met with shame or disbelief. And the only reason that this conversation even made it past Twitter is because some women, like Ellie and Maria, risk their reputations, safety, and careers to tell the truth. So no, this isn't just a Hollywood thing. This is a global system built on the same foundation. So whether it's a yacht off the coast of Cairns or a penthouse in Dubai, the formula is the exact same: money, silence, power, and trauma. So to wrap this video up, I want to be clear. This isn't just a rich person's secret. It's an open industry that profits off of silence, and chances are your favorite influencer, actress, or model has already seen it up close. But you guys, that is the end of today's video, and as always, I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on yachting? What are your thoughts on Dubai porta potties? Do you believe these stories stories are true? Do you believe your fave celebrities or influencers are in this industry? Let's get the discussion going on in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to my channel. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Be supportive everywhere, okay? I'm not just on YouTube. Please and thank you. I love and I appreciate you guys all so very much. Remember, we're on the road to 300,000 subscribers, and I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.
Taking you in this moment.